for the American worker. We have been overwhelmed with the amount of requests from countries around the world. I'll let the Secretary speak to that. We will continue with the tailor-made negotiations that I spoke about yesterday. In the meantime, there will be a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs as these negotiations are ongoing, and the tariff level will be brought down to a universal 10% tariff. The Secretary here has been a huge part of the President's trade team, of course, and will continue to lead these negotiations moving forward to look out for the American worker, which is always President Trump's goal. So I'll kick it over to our great Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessett.
Consistent
statement. Thank you. And we saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today.
He kept saying.
It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they're in this very spot. Do not retaliate,
That's what he said.
And you will be rewarded.
That's what they said.
So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them, and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation.
That's something.
Mexico and China, are they part of this 10%
Well,
Mexico and Canada, you mean?
Mexico and Canada, are they part of the 10%?
Yes.
Okay. Second.
Everyone, they said. Everyone.
The world essentially calling it not China. Is this now just all about China?
Well, it's about...
No, it's about America.
Actors. And what we will see is some of the very early countries are China's neighbors. We're going to see, I'm seeing Vietnam today, Japan's at the front of the queue, South Korea, India.
The Indo-Pacific
we will see,
is what the other gentleman was saying.
Said, and President Trump has been saying it for years, China is the most imbalanced economy in the history of the modern world, and they are the biggest source of the U.S. trade problems. And indeed, they are a problem for the rest of the world, because what we've seen is that as the U.S. announced the tariff
it's not about calling out China. It's about China putting itself in the limelight. Because America is fixing itself.
Well, I'm not calling it a trade war.
No.
But I'm saying that China has escalated, and President Trump responded very courageously to that.
Yeah, he didn't sit down on his butt, put his hands underneath his
our trading partners.
feet and say, I can't do nothing.
Excuse me, Raquel, if I could just add to what the Secretary said. Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing.
Please,
here.
There you go.
You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business.
And this is exactly why Donald Trump gave you this job.
And the president has shown great courage, as the Secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher. Elena, go ahead. Hi, thank you, Treasury Secretary Bessett. Can you explain more the decision-making on...
Again, President Trump created maximum negotiating leverage for himself, and which tariffs went into effect 15 hours ago. The ones that we have lowered went into effect a week ago. They were announced a week ago, and we have just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies who want to come and negotiate in good faith.
With America,
so we are expecting them
in
to
good
come
faith,
with their best deal. As I
pulling
said
away
a week
from
ago today, don't retaliate, hold your ground, let's see what happens. And China, they kept escalating and escalating, and now they have 125% tariffs that will be effective immediately.
Mr. Secretary, go ahead.